Cubes are like a hurricane here in Cube World. Boats and pets and hang gliders. It's a Cube World. You might do a mission or run a dungeon. Cube World, woo. Adventuring and something else. It's Cube World, woo. Hello and welcome to the Complaint Pod. The Cube Pod. My name is Glitched, and joining me as always is Doobs McGee.
Hello.
So every podcast until now, we've praised the game, and we said everything we loved about it. And now it's time to get a little dark, because there's some huge problems with this game. And seeing how this is the first version to come out in public alpha, that's probably to be expected. So this is what we think is wrong with the game at the moment and needs to be addressed if the game wants to stay alive.
Okay, so money is pointless.
Yeah, money has no purpose in this game. Money is just this big useless number. I have 64 gold right now. Do you know what that means? Nothing.
Yeah, at first I thought it was like, oh my god, 10 silver to buy a hang glider. I'm not going to have 10 silver by the time I hit, high enough level to use the hang glider. Like, 10 silver was all my money when I bought my hang glider.
Yeah,
And-
like at level 1, money has a point. Buy hang glider. After hang glider, nothing. No point.
Yeah, even the boat, you can just hang glide.
It's a big problem, and I hope it's addressed in the future. Like, maybe when the housing system comes out, you'll be able to buy huge mansions or something, and he'll add in gold sinks later, or purpose, or if there was a trading system, that would give money a purpose. It would be like, oh, this legendary is worth 12 gold. Awesome. Let me go sell it. But right now, money is pointless, and it almost has no purpose to be in the game. Like, potions will always cost you 2 copper each. Bombs go up to 7 copper each, which is nothing. I mean, I have like 200.
And even the plans for new items from the store, because I've bought before, it's like, oh look, this is plus 80 some gloves. My current gloves are bad, so I can just buy this from the store for 2 copper and make them with the excess of crafting materials I have.
Yeah, and even identifying high level items, it's always like 2 copper. Why does it not get more expensive?
I brought some plus 81 blue leftovers to the dude, and it was 7 copper. I'm like, what if this would have been like the massive, amazing upgrade? And it's like, there's no gamble to it. It's not like, oh, I have leftovers. I don't know if I want to ID these right now.
Which also makes leftovers pointless, because why is there even this process of identifying them if there is basically no cost or risk behind it? Why even have them be leftovers? Why not just have the item drop? What is the purpose of this system?
It's like Diablo 3 when a rare drops and you have to right click to ID it at no cost. What's the point of IDing the item then? There's no ID scrolls or anything like that. It's just right click, identified. All right. Why did I have to wait the 3 seconds or whatever for me to identify it to find out what this was?
Yeah. So, hopefully money will have a purpose at some point. The housing system and trading would be good opportunities. The buzz and excitement has died with lack of endgame content. You know what? You go ahead and say that. I stuttered.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it in a little bit here, but basically obviously Glitched here has kept playing and is level 245 and I'm only level 86, but there's not purpose. Like, it was cool and fun and exploring, but now there's no purpose. So it'll be interesting to see what future updates will bring for endgame content. But yeah, we'll talk more about that later. and the scout. I'll move on to this next point right away. So I've been playing a ranger, and was using the sniper because it just sounded better. The passive sounded better, and then I switched to scout, and holy crap, is it way overpowered and amazing. And like, it's just so good. And the ranger in general is total bullshit.
Yeah, I wouldn't know about the scout being overpowered. I already think ranger is overpowered. I can't imagine what scout is like. And mostly because of our next point. Playing with your friends who are rangers sucks. It's awful. Either they will be either scout or a sniper, and they'll be able to do the bug where they can just zip ahead of you. So, like, you won't be able to keep up with them. They'll always be faster than you, always be on a different part of the map than you, or, like, you'll be playing catch up with them. That sucks. That's scenario A, the good scenario. And then there's scenario B, where they're a scout. And you can either do what we're doing right now, where they can play on a server with you and not use their skills at all. Or they could be on a server with you and use a skill and crash your server every fucking time they use a skill. So that's a pretty big game-breaking bug, and I am really surprised it hasn't been patched. I'm surprised in general that nothing has been patched since release. I thought there'd be at least small little bug fixes here and there, or maybe a tweet, more than once a week.
Wollay hasn't posted shit. That's our next point.
Yep. Wollay has not posted shit, and it was like up until the game's release, he was tweeting, a few times a day. Then the game came out, and he left for a week. He just left for a week. The last thing he said was, "We're getting DDoSed." He leaves for a week, and he comes back, and he's like, "Oh, things are calmer now. There'll be updates at some point. Okay, bye." And I mean, this is not at all what I thought the structure of this alpha thing would be like. I thought there'd be the alpha is released, and there's little bug fixes and tweaks all throughout. There's like at least a patch once a week, or like I thought there'd be a patch every few days actually with tiny little bug fixes at least, but I haven't even heard anything about any possible patches ever. I don't understand. Like, there's game-breaking bugs that need to be fixed immediately. People have paid money. I can't play with Doobs. I don't play with him anymore because he doesn't want to have to compromise and not be a scout because it's not as fun to be a sniper, and I don't want my server to crash. So we don't even play together anymore.
Maybe at the end of the episode, I'll demonstrate how if I press 3 to activate the scout skill, it's gonna crash the server.
I mean, game-breaking bugs. When the YouTubers found a game-breaking bug, it was patched within hours of them messaging Wollay. And it's really weird to me that now that people have actually paid money for the game, he's not giving the same care to the people who got it for free from him. And that's concerning to me. I don't understand it. I don't know why, like, there aren't just small bug fix patches going in. Yeah. I don't get it. I mean, maybe he went on vacation after all the work getting it released, but I wouldn't declare the full release over until this game-breaking bug is fixed and I can actually play with my friends, like 3 of which are rangers. Like, I can't play with them. So that's super disappointing. That needs to be addressed. Okay. All right. Moving on. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the buzz and excitement dying down. This is all why. This is all going to be even more complaints about everything we just said. So early levels are tedious and impossibly difficult, and well, not impossibly difficult. They're challenging and not nearly as fun. And then there's the good chunk of the middle game that's a lot of fun, and then you get to Endgame and leveling is pointless. Your skill points are pointless. There's no reason to do anything anymore.
And Endgame can take as little as like a day.
Yeah.
Like, in a game with infinite levels, Endgame can take a day. The power level scaling is dumb. Yeah.
And then right now we'll demonstrate here that loot in dungeon, the loot tables don't make any sense.
Loot tables are not RNG. You'd think they're RNG. They're absolutely not. Certain dungeons will always drop like up to 5 legendaries, while other dungeons will never drop a legendary no matter how many times you run it. And I don't understand this. I don't know why anyone would think this is a good idea to put in any game ever. This is so dumb, and it ruined the game for me. This is... I'm not going to tell you the seed because it'll ruin the game for you. This is Thaldara Castle, and Thaldara Castle will always, on single player, it will always scale exactly to my level, and it will always drop at least 5 legendaries a run. On multiplayer, it'll always drop legendaries, but it's not always scaled to your level. It's scaled to my level right now, though.
Yeah, so, and like for example, for 5 minutes, I killed the first enemies in this first room here and the enemies in the second room. And I got a new legendary chest plate to my level and shoulders that are scaled to my level and some plans for some other legendaries. In like 5 minutes, 3 of them, there was like 3 legendaries and 2 plans. Just like, all right.
Now, even better example. First of all, look at my gear, legendary, epic. Everything besides the rings is legendary. Everything's legendary. But that's not the real example I want to show you. Hey, let's look at my inventory. Oh, legendary, epic, 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 legendary, epic, legendary. Oh, look at this. Everything in here is either legendary or epic. And, oh, it's just one screen of legendaries and epics? Nah. No, it goes on. This is all legendaries and epics. All from here. All from, like... maybe 2 days of running it before I like got bored with the late game. And yeah, this is ridiculous. Dungeons are not RNG, and I don't know why it's like this. I don't know if this is a bug. I'm assuming it's not. But this dungeon will always drop like at least 5 legendaries, and I was just able to get full legendaries within like, look at that, legendary, first item I picked up within like 2 days. Or no, not 2 hours. 2 hours of running this. Every piece of gear I had was legendary. And it just stopped progression for me completely. I thought the game would be like, wherever you run, there's always going to be a random chance, a really low chance of getting legendary in any dungeon. But apparently the game doesn't work like that. It's RNG when you go to a dungeon for the first time, if it's going to drop 5 legendaries or none, ever. And that's ridiculous. If that's not a bug, then that's a huge design flaw, and it needs to change.
Well, everything's nice and scaled to your level, so I'm getting murdered.
Yeah, I don't know, this dungeon always scales to my level. Oh look, another legendary linen chest plate. So we are in the second room. At least 2 legendaries have dropped. I don't even pay attention to the loot. I just look through it after, because I know there's going to be at least like 5 or 6 legendaries. And it's really ridiculous. Nothing is RNG in this game, and I don't get it.
Yeah. Okay, so as we run this dungeon, talk about some other points here. Pets. Any pet that isn't the turtle is useless entirely.
Yep. If it's not the turtle, it sucks, and you should never use it in combat, basically. That's the golden rule of this game. The turtle has, like... how many times the health of any other pet? Like 5 times the health? It's ridiculous. Alright, for example, turtle, level 60, 2,000 health. Alright, let's try my level 144 crab, 867. It's ridiculous. The turtle is like your only option if you want to actually be useful. Oh hey, this bug happened. Here you go, Doobs. I have a level 144 crab that cloned itself for no reason. There's a bug.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah. That happens in this game, by the way. Pets will just randomly clone themselves for no reason. It's only happened to me so far out of everyone we know. There's an epic.
Oh, there's some legendary linen shoulders.
But yeah, basically, the turtle is the only pet that can actually survive like boss encounters to the end, which means it's the only pet that will get XP for killing shit, really. And every other pet will take longer to level. Every other pet will not be useful in combat. They'll do nothing. Well, the turtle will actually stay alive and help you out. And that sucks. So you basically have one choice of turtle or one choice of pet to use if you're not going for purely cosmetics. Oh god, I'm on 0 health. Alright, what's the next point?
Oh yeah, late game relies on you exploring. But exploring is so easy and quick the higher level you are that you miss out on the whole point of exploring.
Yeah, like as you level up, skill points become useless, and by power level like less than 80, you'll already have riding to be ridiculously fast and gliding to be ridiculously fast. So that means that you'll be moving quicker through the environments, and you won't be able to appreciate them as much. Like, for example, if Doobs here were to do, like, not even from leveling up highly, but just doing his ranger bullshit, he would see nothing of the landscape. If I go through it, like, look how fast I'm moving. And it's already, like, you don't notice it as much. You don't appreciate it as much as you did at lower levels. But yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. So yeah, so there's an example of that dungeon. I think you got what, 4 or 5 legendaries?
A lot.
And
I think at least 6 dropped, and we didn't even run the whole thing.
Yeah, I picked up some legendary plans too for something, which is dumb because diamonds I've never found. And it's like, oh, I could just go to the subreddit and someone will like, hey, here's a seed that has diamonds right here.
Yeah, mining sucks in this game too, but we'll go into that at some other episode maybe. If we do another complaint cast. Mining is awful. That's all that needs to be said, really. Hold on, let me get the town so we can demonstrate the next point. So on the subject of RNG, the thing that I found in the game that is the most RNG dependent is just switching to the actual mission that you want when you're resetting the day. Getting it to land there, that seems to be the most RNG thing in the game. Like right now, let's see. Right there, first try it goes. Normally it takes 100. Let's see how many it would take if I reset it again. It's just completely random. And actually, like, the longest thing about farming that castle, you saw how fast we went through it. The longest thing, I hit it again when it was on there. The longest thing sometimes is just resetting it to be on there again. That can take up to like 15 minutes just sitting here doing that. And then other times it'll go the first try. So that, there is some RNG in the game, you know. There's that, and then there's nothing else. But there's that, but then there's nothing else. But there's that, you know. That's cool.
Well, it's RNG whether or not the dungeon you find just sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the 2 RNG things. Resetting to try and get the mission you want, and if the dungeon you find is going to suck. But once you've discovered a dungeon, that's it for RNG. I think once you find a dungeon, it's already like predetermined how good the loot table's going to be, and then that's it forever for that dungeon. Which is dumb. All dungeons should have the same loot tables. That's the like big point here. All dungeons should have the same chance to drop a legendary item. Like, I don't understand it. It's so dumb. I can go to places that are my level plus 4. It'll be way harder, and it will only ever drop white items, and that's it. And then I can just go run this one that we did that's super easy and get 6 legendaries a run. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of retarded.
It ruined the game for me in the sense that it killed the exploration, because if I want to keep up with everyone else now who also has this seed, or if I want to get fully geared or whatever, or get items to trade on the subreddit, This is the most efficient way to spend my time in the game, and nothing will ever be more efficient than this. There is no reward for me to explore anymore. There's no reward for it whatsoever. It's just this dungeon. That's it for me. Like, I could go explore, and the only reward would be that it's aesthetically pleasing. And sometimes that's just not enough to sink hours into. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, the reward before was, well, I can go find dungeons and maybe they'll have good loot for me and I can level up. But no, the most efficient way to spend my time is just to farm this castle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's ridiculous. Every dungeon should be the same. Alright.
Yep, like I found this dungeon that it was... I don't understand it, because like everything... The dungeon was challenging, but everything that dropped was for power level 40. And like... that's useless to me. There was... Thanks. There was no point in me doing that dungeon, even though it was difficult. My game just froze.
Go on.
Good job. You blow me up and it freezes my game. I'm spamming 3 right now. I hope it crashes.
No! Don't! Please don't! Don't, you fucker! We haven't finished yet!
Anyway, so ways to freshen up the game. More frequent but small updates. You know, even just little bug fixes, reskin a glider and make it, you know, something else.
Yeah,
you know, like what the community has been doing.
Yeah, basically, like, the community is doing half the work. I'm sure that these people who are making these glider models would love to just lend them to Wollay. If he asked for permission, like, that's what Minecraft did. People would make mods, you know, and Minecraft would go, you know, that's a really good idea. Horses in Minecraft, they go together really well. We will use this horse mod. And that's what they did. That's what's in the newest version of Minecraft. It was a user-made horse mod that they made official. So someone is making a user-made, like, glider mod, or not even a mod, just like changing the model of it, you know. Why couldn't that be a small little update just to keep new content coming and keep the game a little bit fresh? Like, I don't understand. Wollay has this mentality, it seems, where it's everything has to be me. I have to do everything myself. I can't accept any help or even suggestions, really. And that's the way it's going to be. Like, they don't want to support any sort of modding of the game, which is, I think, a huge mistake.
At least as of right now. That could change. But
yeah. But, like, modding is basically what has kept Minecraft alive. Like, maybe not even in the sense of, like, downloading Tekkit mods and everything, but even custom maps and everything. That's what's been keeping Minecraft alive. Without that, I don't think the game would be as big. Like, Tekkit is amazing. It's so in-depth. People are making these amazing custom maps. And Cube World could be so good for stuff like that. Making all these mods to keep the game interesting, or custom models. If there was support for that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But even just small updates that don't have to do with that would be great. Just bug fixes, you know, like a weekly patch, a patch schedule even. Maybe every few days you release a bug fix. Something, anything. Like, even a tweet, man. What are you doing? I just feel like with how much he tweets and how little we hear about the game now, it feels like now that the game's out, it's going to be months before we see a single update, which is not what I thought this game would be like going in. But now I am realizing that that is a very real and likely possibility, that we won't see any sort of new content for months, and that saddens me.
Yeah.
Greatly. To keep this game feeling fresh, especially when you're getting to higher levels like this and you're capped out on gear, having just little updates and new things to log in to look at, like, oh, there's a new glider model, I'll go look at that for a bit. That would help to keep the game alive to me. And I think something is going to have to be done somewhat soon in terms of updates or communication if this game wants to like keep being played, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and like, don't guess, we know it's just alpha.
Yeah.
We know that there's all this room for improvement, but it's like we've been left in the dark. They like released the game and was like, okay, bye.
The main reason of any alpha is bug fixing and polishing and adding new features so you can go to beta and eventually release. Alpha should be like the most frequent bug fixes of any stage, shouldn't it? Like, I don't understand how the customer support between the YouTubers that didn't pay any money for the game and us who paid, you know, like $20 for the game. I don't understand how we're getting worse support than people who got it for free. When they reported the bug to him on Twitter, it was fixed in hours, sometimes minutes. He'd respond right to them, oh yeah, I fixed that, thanks. I'll email them a bug, and I'll hear nothing back, and no fixes have gone into the game. Not a single bug fix since release. Not one. And there are too many game-breaking bugs in this game. Like, that is ridiculous. And I sound a little upset about it, and that's because I am. It's an alpha. There should be bug fixes coming out like every day. The dude took a 1-week vacation, and frankly, it's time to get back to work, man. You got game-breaking bugs, and it doesn't even seem like some of them would be like incredibly hard to fix. But I don't know. Just fix them.
You sound like assholes.
Yeah. I mean, this episode is gonna sound really negative, everything we say, but I feel like it's shit that has to be out there. Like, we've done a circle jerk for the past, 4 episodes. We said everything we loved. And now these are the things that have to be fixed for this game to be a continued success, instead of just, like a one-off wonder, like where it came out on release and a bunch of people bought it and then they stopped playing. Like, I guess somewhat like Guild Wars, Guild Wars had such a huge release, and compared to its release, not that many people play it as right now. Its release was huge, and I don't want to see the same thing happen to Cube World because I love it so much. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm saying these things that are wrong with the game so they can be fixed. And these are things that are wrong with the game. You can try and defend these points, I guess, somehow. Like, no, updates are bad. Whatever. It's a beta. You should wait months for updates and fixes. But the reality is that these are problems, and these are things that can be improved to help the success of the game, which is my main concern, the success of the game. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Next week, hopefully, we'll have more positive things to say. Who knows? There might be an update by then. Who knows? Literally, who knows? Nobody. That's who. So, thanks for watching. Tune in again. Sorry that this episode seemed so negative.
Bye.
We love the game. I promise. Bye.